Dear students, in the last class we discussed the types of inheritance and one example on single level inheritance. Okay, so now we have to discussing the one more program that is related to the single level inheritance. Even that program is also for lab. Okay, to implement the single level inheritance, the base class consists of name and roll number as a data member, and member functions are read and display. So first we can read the name and roll number, after that we have to print the name and roll number. So this is completely related to the first class, that is base class, or it is also called as super class. Here name and roll number are the data members and read and display are the member functions. In the same way, derived class. In the derived class, we have to read the two subject mass m1, m2, and for storage variable, that is total, and we have to input the mass. So after that, we have to print the mass, that is compute, or either you can take the compute or you have to print. So compute two subject mass. Okay, so this is the program. So first we have to implement the base class, that is student. Class student. Okay. So here data members are name and roll number. So that's why. So I can take integer as a roll number and char of name. In the public section, so void read this is the base class. See here. So here roll number and name are the data members. So in the read function, so I can enter roll number, name. So for inputting purpose, I can write one function, that is read function. In the display function, whatever we have to give the input to the system, the same data has to be printed. So this is completely the base class. Okay. So here I can write the derived class. So in the derived class, you can compute the two subject marks. So that's why I can take the class name as marks. Class marks. So how to implement the inheritance? Here derived class. The syntax for derived class is first you can write the class name, and you have to use the colon. Here colon is used to implement the inheritance. Next is visibility mode. I can write public. So if you want, you can change. Either you have to mention the private inheritance, or you have to mention the public, or you can use the protected. Only the difference is, so way of accessing the base class variables as well as base class functions, and the base class name is student. So in this I can mention m1, m2, total. In the public section, so void input, cout, enter m1, m2, and I can mention enter, or use m1. Next void print, or you can take compute. So before printing the total value, so first we need to calculate, that is t is equal to m1 plus m2. So next cout total is equal to t. So it's complete the derived class also. See here. So first one is the here class student is the base class and class marks is the derived class. So after defining the derived class, so next we have to create the object. So one thing we have to remember is in the inheritance concept, always we have to create the object of derived class. Derived class. Here I can write void main. So this is the first one and this is the second one. Void main. So in the void main I can create marks m. So before entering the marks, first we can input the student name, roll number. Okay, see here m dot read. Actually read is a function of student, but you are creating the object of marks. How it is possible? Because of this line. Because you are implementing the inheritance. Inheritance means always you can create the object of derived class. The definition of the inheritance is acquiring the properties from one class to the other class. Here the properties and functions are defined in the student class, but with the help of derived class object you are accessing the base class properties. Here m dot read means it will call the read function. Enter roll number name. I can enter the roll number and name. After entering the roll number and name, so immediately you have to enter the marks. So if you want to enter the marks means I can call the input. That is m dot input. So it will call the input function. I can, if I enter 40 and 45. Okay. So here the total marks is m1 plus m2. But before displaying the marks, so first it has to print the name and roll number. So that's why m dot display and m dot compute. So it will complete the program. Alternatively, you can call the particular function. First we can call the base class input function. So after that you can call the derived class input function. Here the name is read, here the name is input. So after completion of all the input and it has to print order-wise. So first it will print the roll number and name. For that purpose I can write m dot display. So after that I have to mention m dot compute. So after displaying the roll number and name, next it will print the total. Okay, so this is the single level inheritance. Okay. Next is virtual base class. Virtual base class. So we already discussed the types of inheritance. Okay, it is related to that only. Just I have to draw one diagram. Here A is there, here B is there, here C is there, and here D is there. So it is also a one type of inheritance. For example, hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance means it is a combination of multi-level and hierarchy and multiple, or it is multi-level and multiple also. Okay, so this is the hybrid inheritance. Okay, virtual base class means, see here A is the base class, purely the base class. B can access the properties of A and C can also access the properties of A. D can access the properties of B and D can access the properties of C. So in this diagram, so how many times A properties are present in D? It means the answer is 2 times, because with the help of D can access the properties of B means already A properties are present in the B. It means that with the help of B, so D can access the properties. In the same way, C also. Means multiple copies of the base class properties are present in the derived class. But if you are implementing, means the multiple copies are not needed. only one time we can access the properties are sufficient. Okay, to avoid the multiple copies of base class properties are being present in the derived class, so we can use the virtual base class. At the time of implementing the B derived class, we can mention the public virtual A in the same way C. Okay, so there is no program for our syllabus, only the syntax is there. So just I can write the syntax here, class A. This is only the syntax. So here you have to mention the statement. Next, class B virtual public A. In the same way, class C virtual public C. Next, class D public B, public C. See here. Here class A is purely the base class. Next, at the time of defining the B class, we have to use the virtual keyword. So why we have to use the virtual keyword for B and C means, without using virtual, if you are implementing the inheritance means the multiple copies of A are present in D. To avoid the multiple copies of base class, that is A properties, so we can use the virtual public A, or you can use public virtual A, that is also true. Okay, either you have to mention virtual public A or public virtual A. If you are using virtual, either D can access the properties with the help properties of A, either with the help of B or either with the help of C. If you are using virtual, only one time D can access the properties of A. Either it may be with the help of B or either it may be with the help of C. So this is the virtual base class. Okay, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು virtual base class ಅನ್ನು ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ A class ದ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ 2 ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ D ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ತಾವೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ 2 ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ನೆಸೆಸಿಟಿ ಇರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಒನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಾವು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದಾಗ, ಸೊ ಬೇಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಫಿಶಿಯಂಟ್. ಅದನ್ನು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಸಂಬಂಧ, ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಕಾಪೀಸ್ ಡಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇರೋ ಸಂಬಂಧ, ಅದನ್ನು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಸಂಬಂಧ ನಾವು ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್, ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಎ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ನಾವು ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಿ, ಈಗ ನಾವು ಎ ಮತ್ತು ಬಿ ನ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಇನ್ಹೆರಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ಕೋಲನ್ ಹಾಕಿ ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಬರೆದು ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಎ ಅಂತ ಆರ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಎ ಅಂತನೂ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. ಅದರ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಸಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಬರೋದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಡಿ ದಾಗ ಏನೈತ್ರಿ, ಬಿ ಮತ್ತು ಸಿ ಐತಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಬಿ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಸಿ ಅಂತ ಬರೋದು. ಸೊ ನಾವು ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಸೊ ಅದು ಬಿ ಥ್ರೂ ಒನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಸಿ ಥ್ರೂ ಒನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. So this is completely about the virtual base class. Okay. So it is a 2 marks question. The last topic of the inheritance is constructor and destructor in inheritance. So we already know that constructor, here constructor is nothing but it is a special type of member function. Its name is same as that of the class name, and it is used to initialize the objects. It is used to initialize the object. If I declare private int of a comma b, so directly we cannot write a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20. So for initialization purpose, for assigning the values for the private data members, so we can use the constructor. Then why we have to use the destructor here? Destructors are used to destroy the objects. Means whatever the variables are created, whatever the memories are allocated to the object variables, that is private data members, that can be deleted, that can be removed from the memory. So that's why we can use the destructors. Okay, in the inheritance concept, actually, so directly constructors cannot be inherited, but how the constructors can be used in the inheritance means if both the base class as well as derived class consist of constructor. If both the base class as well as the derived class consist of constructor, the first base class constructor will be executed. After that, derived class constructor will be executed. So in generally, if we consider the constructor concept, when the object is created, automatically it will call the constructor. If I write the class sample of S means it will call the sample constructor. But in the inheritance case, it will call the base class. See here class of sample. So just I can write sample. See out. So just I have to mention one statement. Base class constructor. Okay. So next I can write one destructor here. Base class. So sample. See out. Base class destructor. Next I can write so class sample 1 See here. So this is the example. Constructor and destructors can be used in the inheritance example. Okay. Here sample is the base class. It consists of one constructor and one destructor. In the same way, derived class sample 1. Again it consists of one constructor and one destructor. Compulsory can write so public sample. So I already told that. So if you are implementing the inheritance, compulsory we can create the object of derived class, that is the sample 1 of S. If you are creating the object of derived class means, so in generally it will call the particular class constructor. If I am not implementing the inheritance means sample 1 of S means obviously it will call the sample 1. But here if you are implementing the inheritance, if the object is created, automatically it will call the base class constructor. Means in the output, first it will display base class constructor. So after calling the base class constructor, next automatically it will call the derived class constructor. In the first line it will print base class constructor. Second line it will print derived class constructor. Then what about the destructor? So exactly opposite to the constructor. Opposite to the constructor means first it will call the derived class destructor. After that it will call the base class destructor. So this is completely about the constructors and destructors in the inheritance. And in the inheritance chapter, so in the final examination, you will get 5 marks, 1 question. All the topics are very easy. Even the chapter is easy. It consists of only 2 to 3 topics. So first one is what is inheritance, what are the advantages. Then what is visibility mode, explain the types of inheritance. Last topic is constructors and destructors in the inheritance. Okay. And this chapter notes, so tomorrow, so I will send you the notes of inheritance. Okay. And I will give assignment questions. So today or tomorrow I will give some assignment questions, and some of you didn't submit your assignment questions. So it is a compulsory. If you are not submitting the assignment question means, so again, so I have to give punishment for that 10 times, 20 times, like that. Okay, so be frank. Okay, in the next class we will discuss the next chapter, that is pointers. Okay, thank you.